Have you ever wondered why, for centuries, wearing purple wasn't just unusual, it was illegal? Not discouraged. Not frowned upon. Illegal. Today, let's uncover what made the color purple so powerful, and why it was once forbidden. Right here on Simple History of Things. To understand this, we have to begin far from clothing, far from kings and empires, and closer to the sea. Because the most prized purple in history did not come from plants, or minerals, but from living creatures. Along the coastlines of the ancient Mediterranean, small marine snails clung to rocks beneath the waves. Easy to overlook. Yet inside them was something extraordinary, a chemical compound that could be transformed into a deep, rich purple dye. Extracting it, however, was anything but simple. Each snail produced only a minute amount. A drop, barely visible. To dye a single garment, thousands, sometimes tens of thousands, had to be collected. Workers gathered them in large quantities, broke them open, and extracted the fluid. Then came the transformation. Exposed to sunlight and air, the pale secretion slowly darkened, deepened, and settled into a color unlike anything else available at the time. The process was slow, laborious. The smell, overwhelming. Yet the work continued. Because the result was worth it. This purple was not just beautiful, it was durable. Unlike many early dyes that faded or washed away, this one held its intensity. It resisted sunlight. It clung to fabric. It endured. And because it was so difficult to produce, it became incredibly expensive. That's where everything changed. A color that is hard to make becomes rare. Rare becomes valuable. Valuable becomes a symbol. In ancient societies, especially in Rome, clothing was communication. What you wore showed who you were, where you stood, and how much power you held. Purple, because of its cost and rarity, rose above all others. It became linked to wealth, then authority, then power itself. Emperors wore it. High officials wore it. Those closest to power wrapped themselves in it. Over time, the meaning became unmistakable. Purple didn't just look powerful, it meant power. Once that meaning was established, it had to be protected. Because if anyone could wear purple, anyone could appear powerful. And in a world built on strict hierarchy, appearance mattered. So laws were introduced. Sumptuary laws, rules controlling what people could wear based on status. Purple sat at the very top. Certain shades were reserved for the emperor. Others were limited to specific ranks. Even a narrow stripe could signal status, and that signal had to remain accurate. For ordinary people, wearing it was not just inappropriate, it was illegal. And the consequences were not light. Julius Caesar wore an all-purple toga as a declaration of supreme authority. After him, emperors tightened the rules. In Byzantium, only the emperor and his family could wear certain shades. Merchants caught trading in imperial purple lost everything. Individuals who wore it without permission risked exile or execution. Not a fine. Your life. A color had become so significant, it required enforcement. But this wasn't only about wealth. Over time, purple took on deeper meaning. It became tied to legitimacy, to divine authority, to the idea that certain people were set apart. Byzantine emperors created a special chamber in the palace, lined with purple stone. Royal children were born there deliberately. A child born in that room carried a title from birth, porphyrogenitos, born of the purple. The color had moved beyond material value, into identity itself. But history doesn't stand still. Then came a moment that changed everything. In 1856, an 18-year-old chemistry student, William Henry Perkin, was trying to create a treatment for malaria. The experiment failed. But what remained in his flask did not. It was a vivid, stable purple, one that could be produced quickly, consistently, and in large quantities. For the first time, purple was no longer rare. What once required thousands of sea creatures could now be made in a laboratory. The cost dropped. Supply increased. And just like that, the barrier collapsed. The laws that once restricted purple didn't disappear because beliefs changed, they disappeared because they no longer made sense. When something becomes widely available, it can no longer mark exclusivity. And when it loses that role, it loses the need for control. Today, purple is everywhere. In fashion, in design, in everyday life. It no longer signals authority the way it once did, but traces of its past remain. We still associate it with royalty, with luxury, with something elevated above the ordinary. These meanings are not random. They are echoes of a time when the color carried weight. In the end, purple wasn't illegal because of the color itself. It was illegal because of what it represented. Power, status, authority, and the need to protect those things, in a world where appearance could define reality. So the next time you wear purple, or notice it around you, take a moment. Because what feels ordinary now, was once one of the most controlled expressions of identity in human history. If you enjoyed this, tell us what everyday object you'd like us to explore next. We read every suggestion. Thanks for spending this moment on Simple History of Things, where simple things carry deeper stories. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more.